Street.
You know, and for people who don't like, I'm starting to get into football too. I think I'm gonna do a football show on ESPN here.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how many football NFL players come are from this area, and I didn't know how big Brunswick was in the whole basketball world.
Yeah, we got one pro. Keldon is from Brunswick, but he went to the school next to us. Keldon Johnson from the Spurs.
He just had a camp not too long ago, didn't
Yes,
he?
he hosted at my high school.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I know a lot of the guys I deal with here went down there. I started dealing with some folks in the whole name, image, and likeness world.
Yes.
There's a dude, Freddie Berry.
Don't want to rush it. I got to shake at
Let's go.
12:30.
Come on, man. Let's go. I got something.
Which way we looking?
We just talking. Don't worry about where we looking. We just talking.
I hear that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the Mike, the premier business radio program. I'm your host, Mike King. Appreciate you being here with us. All righty, so this is the part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1, The Choice 105.3. Okay, so hanging out in the Common House, that's where cool people are. I was just passing through, but I would see the young guy there, Victor McKenzie. He is there, and so now I know him from a nonprofit.
Yeah.
That is your world, but you're here because we're talking the political campaign.
Yes, sir.
You've gotten bitten by the bug. Tell us who you are and what you do, and then we're going to talk about what that is and what it means.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Mike. Once again, my name is Victor McKenzie. I am a nonprofit leader, community advocate, and candidate for the Virginia House of Delegates, the newly drawn 82nd District, which is all of Petersburg, all of the county of Surrey, parts of Prince George, and parts of Dinwiddie.
What was the call to politics?
Man, you know, my background is in nonprofit, serving people, and for far too long, I've seen the system fail people. And, you know, as we run programs, as we work with people on the ground, I started noticing our biggest challenges were really the policies. It was systemic. It was systematic the way that we would have underinvestment in certain communities. And no matter what we would do, we felt like we were in a cyclical realm.
Okay.
So my thing was, you know, it's time to change some policies.
Had you ever run for office before?
No, jumped in, both feet.
Had you ever been involved in politics before?
Yeah. So in my role as a nonprofit leader, you know, I've been called on by the governor. I was appointed to the Opioid Abatement Authority last year, which serves as the entity that will take all of the funding from litigation across the nation for opioid overdoses and misuse. We got $500 million coming to Virginia, and a part of my role on that authority is to make sure it's reinvested in Virginia. I've also served on our Substance Abuse Service Council under Senator John Bell, and contributing to advising the governor, our Department of Behavioral Health and Disabilities, just on the best processes for substance use treatment.
Alrighty, on the mic, Mike Victor's here with us, and you're a community servant. Now you're going from an advisory role to stepping totally into it.
Well, I'll also say, you know, we've had our foot in it. So with my organization, we do a lot of advocacy work in the GA. In fact, last year, you know, we were behind two major bills. One was increasing the reimbursement rate for Medicaid peer recovery specialists. We saw there was a need there. So we got to work. We also were a part of the group that helped get the Recovery High School out to Chesterfield. So we've been putting in work.
Okay, what was the process? All of a sudden you thought about it. What did it take to cross the line and say, I'm jumping in?
You got to get permission from the lady first.
Yes, I didn't want to go down there. Honey, I was thinking about doing, getting into politics after you've seen all of the stuff that goes on. Yeah. Whenever political people are here, I ask them, you did it. How do we find that next generation of public servants when people look at how hard the campaign trail is to get it done?
You know, it takes a special kind, but I think as a whole, we can do some things to help remove those barriers, right? We got to build up our bench. No matter what political side you're on, you're going to need to make sure you are investing in the next generation. being open to their thoughts and desires and making sure they have a seat at the table.
Alrighty, and how can people find you out there as far as your campaign goes?
Absolutely. So our website is victormckenzie.com. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Vic McKenzie Jr. So that's VICMCKENZIEJR.
Alrighty, and so how do you, when you first start and become a candidate, a lot of times people don't understand the process. How do you flush out your positions? How do you get a team? Like, how do you go about the process for somebody who's never run for office to all of a sudden become prepared to be a viable candidate?
Sure. I mean, that's a great question, Mike. I had the fortunate enough experience to be what I call politically adjacent, right?
So, okay, so you saw how the process worked. You understood how the process worked.
And so I was able to make a few phone calls, call on friends, call on trusted advisors just around the space. But it really took sitting down, making sure it was good with my family, making sure it was good with my employer. And from there, I went on a community listening session. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't jumping in, talking about solutions to problems I didn't really even understand. And I wanted to make sure that I had community support and community buy-in. So, that's sitting in Ms. Johnson's living room, listening. That's knocking on, Mr. Joe's door, sitting on the back porch, listening, all of those pieces. And so taking from what they're telling me, mixed with my understanding of politics, we started crafting out what was important to folks.
When you were on your listening tour,
Yep.
What's the difference between when you were here in, say, Petersburg as opposed to Surrey?
Biggest difference, Petersburg is more of an urban center versus out in Surrey where it's more rural. So it's split. People in Petersburg were more worried about economic development, jobs. Surrey, it's all about access, right? We're talking broadband, which has been coming. We're talking food access. You're out there. And so my job as delegate, hopefully, is to bridge those gaps, to bridge those priorities and take those concerns to the GA.
And I'm always fascinated by, I know cities, I know the suburban areas. It's always fascinating when you go out to the rural areas.
Oh, yeah.
What do you get when you talk to the folks out there? Like, how are they doing?
They're surprised I'm there.
I can imagine.
Yeah, knocking on their door and wanting to listen to their concerns. And I think, unfortunately, over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of mistrust in our political system for various reasons. And so I really use my hat from the community side, being a nonprofit leader, really take those skills that I learned and take those to the door. And so showing up and say, hey, listen, I'm here to listen. I'm here to help, be a resource. And once you kind of open up the door for that, people start talking and you're able to make those connections.
When you're there talking and people are looking around, you said there's deals to be made when whatever side of the aisle you're on, we can find a compromise.
Absolutely.
Okay, talk about how do people come to compromises? Because a lot of times it's like, this is my stance, Republicans are this side, Democrats are that side, you're saying it's a lack of conversation that really does things in.
I think so. At the end of the day, we are responsible to the people, not our party, not our special interest, not anything. We're responsible to the people. And so we need to ensure that we are creating legislation that embodies that commitment. And my part about conversation is, I think politically, there has been a lack of decorum, right? You get so hot on the campaign trail, you get so hot with the electoral politics, talking about people all kinds of ways. Now, when y'all both show up underneath that roof, how do you mend those fences, right? And
it's tough.
It is.
I remember what you were saying about me.
Exactly. How do you mend that? And so I think we need to take a temper on also when we're running, making sure that we are focused on the issues and not attacking people personally. As far as how do we bridge that gap, it is about conversation, right? If I have an issue down here in Petersburg, I was just in Bristol a couple weekends ago, and that level of exposure, I didn't know anything about Bristol until I got there. And all of a sudden I'm saying, whoa, you guys have some of the same challenges we have down here in Petersburg. How did you get over that hump? How did you get over that financial hump? And once we can talk about what we have in common and those common values, that starts to open up the conversation.
On the Mike ESPN Richmond's where we are. This is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network. It is ESPN Richmond 106.1, The Choice 105.3, as well as International Business Growth Radio. I tell people we do like LeBron, we take our talents on the road and we showcase the Central Virginia area in a different way. Today, Victor McKenzie is here with us. I know him to be the nonprofit guy who's out there really making a difference. He's thrown his hat into the political ring. I can see where it makes sense when you've already been on the ground talking to people about issues. So the talking about issues is not something that's hard.
No.
The hard part seems to me is getting the job.
Yeah.
And getting the job can be problematic because how far people will go to get and keep the job.
Oh yeah.
Now, the district that you're in, it's newly formed. Is there a person who's there now?
Yeah, the new district, the new 82nd, is a combination of our old 63rd district and 64th, which was now 82 created through redistricting. Right now, there is an incumbent, Delegate Kim Taylor, and we're hoping to face her in the general.
Kim Taylor, come on the program. She's been on the program before.
Oh, has she?
Yes, you
Okay.
guys should come on the program.
Yeah, I'm always happy to debate. I'm always happy to talk of values and talk about why I believe I'll be the best candidate and the best person to represent that district.
What is it that makes a good candidate, and what's a good candidate turn into a good politician to get job done?
You got to be humble, right? You don't know it all. I think you have to be really connected to your why and your values and making sure that you are not exchanging that for short-term opportunities. I personally believe in the promise of our Commonwealth, and I believe we should elect people who are committed to representing people first. And I believe that no matter what you do, no matter what your political ideology is, that you are open to hearing from your constituents and not making decisions in a silo. Because at the end of the day, that's who you represent, that's who put you in that office, and that's who works for you.
All right, we're the day after the election, Victor McKenzie wins. What's the first thing that's on the agenda? What tops the agenda for you from a political standpoint?
Oh, for me, it's how do we tackle community safety, particularly the rise in gun violence, violent crime across our Commonwealth, as well as, how do we empower more individuals working in our behavioral health system. Right now, we've seen, between the mental health side with our state hospitals' lack of beds, to our substance use and addiction side, where we've seen the most overdose deaths in the last 12 months than we've ever seen before. Yeah. We have fentanyl hitting our streets. We need to figure out what can we do about that. We need more workers, more peer recovery specialists working in our industry so that individuals who are ready to receive resources have that access as soon as possible.
One of my Victor is here with us. All right, so we've been talking politics. Let's go over to your side on the nonprofit side, mental health, substance abuse, and all that. How are people doing out in the streets?
It's hard right now. We've had a really hard couple years, particularly starting with COVID. So all of a sudden you are isolated, right? Let's think about it, put your different pair of shoes on, as I like to say. You're an individual who's, maybe early into their recovery or who have had a history of dealing with addiction, and you've developed some community supports, right? Whether it's your recovery group, your AA, your NA, or just a family member. Now all of a sudden you're isolated from all of that human contact.
And I got all kinds of doubts.
Yeah.
Those things are starting to come back, and there's
Absolutely.
nobody to help me.
And then on top of that, now you have other factors. You don't know if you're going to have your job tomorrow. You don't know where that next meal is coming from. You don't know if these flights are going to stay on. People were losing their jobs. All of a sudden you have all these stresses just coming in on you. And that, that's just from COVID. On the flip side, we've had an increase in illegal synthetic fentanyl in the streets. So individuals who may be used to using one substance, right? They go out, they buy. It might be laced with fentanyl, and they would never know. They would never know until it's too late. And so it's challenging out there right now.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Is the substance abuse help viewed better now than it was, say, pre-pandemic?
I think it's getting there. Yeah. It's not quite. Let me take a step back. I like to use mental health as an example, right? 20 years ago, Nobody
No,
was
we
talking
ain't,
about
no,
it.
no.
Wasn't talking about it.
Now, you pull
Now?
yourself up by the bootstrap.
Absolutely. Now I'm in a group chat with, with my boys, right? Hey, Vic, did you take a mental health day? Hey, just checking on you. I know you've been, running and gunning. How are you doing on your mental health side? We talk about it as if it's regular conversation.
That's a difference.
Yeah.
And it maybe in a generation that's changed.
Yes.
Because I think before that, for people my age, and I'm 62, when you stepped off to get help, the world kept going.
Mhm.
It said something about me that
Personally.
I wasn't strong enough to keep going. But the whole world got sent home.
Absolutely. Got
and
sent home.
The whole world got put on timeout, and all of a sudden, everybody had to deal with our mental health.
Yeah, well, we have to change the narrative, right? I think with addiction, it's seen as a moral failing instead of the public health disparity that it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a disease that we have to address with resources, not punitive action. And I think we've done that for far too long. And so now it's up to us to change that narrative and crush that stigma in order to make sure that people are getting help. Back in the day, it was thought of when you're talking about drugs, you're thinking someone in an alley, long trench coat,
That is true.
dark, creaky light. No, it's your everyday person. Someone who there was a great example, someone who's on a football team, got hurt, all American, got hurt, got prescribed some opioids. And now all of a sudden he's developed an addiction. It could be your lawyer, it could be your doctor. It can be, your average suburban mom. But we have to change that narrative.
There you go. Victor's here. We'd like to thank you for coming on the program. Good luck with the candidacy. So once again, how can people find you out there?
Oh, I'm all over the place. Once again, my website is victormckenzie.com. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Vic McKenzie Jr. or Victor for VA.
I want to Mike, ladies and gentlemen. We're here offering content to the community. We'd like to thank you for tuning in. You can reach me on Mike King on the mic with Mike RVA, as well as Mike King Biz. We bring you the best and the brightest, and clearly young man here has it going on. Regardless of what side of the fence you sit on, a good conversation, it is what needed. Everybody knows where I came from. I came from conservative talk radio, and it's all about talking, putting your message out there and see who's buying. So on the mic with Mike, we got to run. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. Thanks now.
Thank you, man.